In this video, I'll be showing you how to write a JS for a Power Apps model driven app when grid is in place. So grid or subgrid. So I'm going to perform some operation on grid or subgrid. So the use case is to perform basic operations on subgrid based on selection from a main form. So take for example, you have a list of contractors belonging to an organization. Now, either ways, you can see the information. You can see the list of contractors. You can see the list of accounts for which the contractor belongs to. Now, if I select a account or a company name, I should be able to see all the contractors working for that particular organization. Now, the contractor may have worked previously, so the state would be pending. Contractor may be currently working, so the state will be active. So, some examples like that. What all things we can perform? We can see the get the type of the grid, whether it's a read only or editable. We can extract the list of rows, get the count, extract selected rows, lock rows based on selection, show or hide rows based on selection, refresh grid, modify ribbon controls for grid. So in this series, I'm going to cover all this thing, but then in this video, I'm just going to cover the basics of it, just set the foundation so that we can start working on grid or subgrid operations. So for that, let's jump into the demo. So for that, I'm going to write a simple VS code over here. So let me minimize this. So I'm going to write a JS over here. And once I write the JS, I'm going to put that in the web resource, put it over here, and then navigate to the form. So navigate to the form. Now, just to show you an example, contractor management model driven app, I have a list of contractors who are either an active or a pending state from a contract status perspective. I've got parents, training record, and contract renewals. Now, all these contractors work for a specific organization. If I go to setup over here, go to accounts, and then from here, I'll be able to see list of all the accounts. So if I go into a datum corporation, over here, if I double click, I should be able to see the list of contractors working for a datum. So I can see Maria and Sarah. Now, this is basically a form. This is a main form, which is accounts. It shows me and it tells me that these are the list of contractors working for a datum. So this is a grid or a subgrid. This is the ribbon for the main form, and this is the ribbon for the grid. So these are some of the terminology. Now, if I select anything over here, I'm basically selecting the item in the grid or subgrid. If I select two items, I'll see two items. If I see one items, one item. So like that, I will be able to perform some operations. So first thing, what we need to do is like we need to update the model driven app. So this is a model driven app. This is that same form. This is the account form. And this is the subgrid, which is the contractors form. All right. So first we are going to write some simple piece of code just to see how this grid functions, right? So for that, what we're going to do, we're going to write something on the onload of this form itself. So we're going to come over here, onload, and then we're going to add an event handler. So first to write a code, let me go over here and call this function. So function, I'll call it as grid. And I'm going to pass the execution context. From here, I will be writing a simple code where form context equal to execution context dot get form context. Then maybe I will just need to get the grid control, right? So I can just say grid, maybe I'll just call it as grid context for me, or maybe I can call it as grid control, but either ways it's fine. I'll just say form context dot get control. So I'm going to get the control of that grid. And this grid, I will just call it as XXX for time being. Let's go into the form over here. And if you want to see the name of this grid, you select this grid and see this option. Don't select this. This is a section part. This one is the actual grid name. So subgrid underscore contractor. So I'm going to copy this value and paste it over here. Right. So I've got a grid context. So where now, if I want to say where grid is a variable, and I will say grid context dot get grid. So I'm going to get the control grid. If I want to get the type of the grid, so I'll have another variable where grid type equal to, then I'll say grid context or grid control dot get grid type. what type of grid it is. And if I want to get the rows of that grid, so I'll just say all the rows of that particular grid equal to grid dot get rows. So three items. First, you get the grid value, then the grid type, what it is, whether it's a read only or it's an editable grid. All rows get the total number of rows within that grid. Or maybe I will just say where all selected rows. So if someone select the rows, then if I want to see, I can go ahead and get the grid dot selected, grid dot get selected rows. If I want to get the record count, I will just say where record count equal to grid dot get total record count. So like that, I can get the selected rows, I can get the record count, and then you can just go ahead and copy paste this values in console.log. So maybe I'll just say console.log, and let's put all the values and see. So I'll say grid, and if I want to see what is the value for the grid, so I'll just say let's see what it comes to. If, because you may need to write this in your code multiple number of times just to extract. So first thing is grid, then we will say grid type, then all rows, grid all rows, then we have all selected rows, and then we have record count. All selected rows, and then I can even get other things also from this. So all rows, now if you see all rows, now all rows I can get the length, I can get the length from this as well. So we can write other things. So I'll just call this as where all rows length. If I want to use this variable, I will say all rows dot get length. Or maybe I'll just say where all selected rows length equal to all selected rows dot get length. So I can do like this as well. And then let's write it over here. So all rows length, all selected rows length. And I'll copy this variable. So I'm just showing you what all things are possible, and these all things you can basically use in your JS. And you can also iterate through the all selected rows. Now I'm not going to write the code, but I'll just show you. So if you have all selected rows, you can just go ahead and run a for each. And then within that for each, you can write a, say maybe a function which pass a parameter of row, and then within that you can perform various operations. So we can just have, say, where entity equal to row dot get data dot get entity. So once you get that entity object, then you can perform various operation. You can get the entity id, you can get the entity. So let me write the console.log entity and then show it to you. So like that we can get the entity object as well from here. So I'm not going to write anything because I'm going to cover this in a separate video. So I've just written over here just for you to understand that what does the selected rows will give you, all selected rows, or maybe all rows will give you. So all selected rows dot for each function. And you can also use this for not only for all selected rows, you can use it for, say, maybe all rows. So I'll just copy this all rows over here. For each function where entities get data console.log entity, and then it will just iterate through, and then it will give you the entity. And then you can get the entity.get id, you can get the id of from here, and you can get the entity id, and then you can just say entity dot get id. Like that, you can write this simple JavaScript code over here for grid. Let me save this and let me copy this code. So what we have done, we have written a simple grid function which takes the grid context, get the grid type, get the grid rows, get all selected rows, get the total record count, get the rows length, get the all selected rows length. We are writing in console.log and we are iterating through one of the uh, function. So all rows dot for each function row where entity is row dot get data dot get entity, and then console dot log entity dot get id, just to see within the subgrid which table does it belongs to. Copy this code, go to your JS, the web resource, click on save, and once you save that, just publish it. What's the name of the function? The name of the function is simple. It's called as grid. Go to your model driven app over here. When this form is loaded, what I want is go to events on load and then add an event handler, select the correct JS and call that function. Click on save and publish. And now once the form is loaded, you should be able to see all the values. So let me do a hard refresh, and then we may need to open the developer tools over here just to see, because we have written everything in console.log, right? So this is just like a demonstration example for the grid. So if I go inside one of the record, then if that JS is executed, you should be able to see all the control over here. Now, if you see grid, so we have put everything in over here, right? Now, first, let's go into one of the thing. We have console.log grid. So grid will just give you an object. So you cannot go past that, right? So if you want to know what type of grid it is, now that's a read only grid over here. So you can just go ahead and you can edit the value, but not inline. So that's why the grid type is 3. Grid all rows. So grid all rows, we have written all rows, which will again give you an object. Grid selected rows, so there is nothing selected, so it has not given us anything. Grid record count, which is 2, all rows length is 2. So 2 items, all rows length, all selected rows. So selected rows is 0 because I haven't selected anything over here. And the entity object. Now we have just written console.log entity in that for each block, right? Entity ID. So you will see the GUID of this record. So you will see two GUID belonging to this. So if you want to just compare the last one, it starts with B5E1B. Okay. Now if I click on Sarah and if I go into this URL over here, you will see B5E1B, and this completely matches with B5E1B over here. So that means we are able to extract the GUID of that record as well. So that's it, folks. This is how basically you can perform an operation on the grid. You can get the grid control, you can get the grid type, you can get all rows, you can get a selected rows, you can get the all rows length, all selected rows length, and you can iterate through the grid item control over here. And we have extracted the GUID or the entity ID of that particular subgrid item component. In the forthcoming videos, I'm going to go into each and every topic, and then I'll show you the use case of how you can use the subgrid manipulation while using in a forms in a Power Apps model driven app. Thanks for watching.